What if I told you there's a pretty interesting lore connection that you can draw between the books Paraneri and Vera's Melancholy? It all comes down to these palm eyeballs that I've been so obsessed with recently. Let me do my best to explain. In Paraneri, there's a character named Angelica who appears as a new arrival at that orphanage in Conria that was created to take in descenders. She declares that she will marry the mightiest warrior in the kingdom, and Paraneri's best friend, Heliobrant, ends up totally smitten by her. Since Paraneri is among the mightiest warriors, Heliobrant eventually comes for his best friend in order to prove himself to Angelica. They end up in a grand struggle taking them beyond Conria's borders, which causes Heliobrant to turn into a hilichurl. In the end, it is implied that Angelica was some sort of ghostly apparition, and Paraneri goes on to live a life on the surface. Like I said, the eyeballs on the palms led me here, which is why Vera's Melancholy is an important book here as well. One of the main characters is a princess who comes from the dominant race of the Andromeda Empire, a race which has organs in the palms of their hands that are for capturing and consuming eyeballs. In Greek mythology, Andromeda is the daughter of Cassiopeia, who pisses off Poseidon by boasting that her daughter is more beautiful than the sea nymphs. In response to this grave offense, Poseidon sends a sea monster to their kingdom as a form of punishment. Cassiopeia ends up chaining her daughter to a rock on the sea to offer her up as a sacrifice. Thankfully, Andromeda is saved by Perseus, who sails by while on his journey home from killing Medusa. We can actually take this Andromeda stuff and connect it to the story that Paraneri takes inspiration from, Orlando Innamorato, an unfinished poem from the Italian Renaissance era that was later continued by another poet in a work called Orlando Furioso. This story features a pagan princess named Angelica who, at one point during Orlando Furioso, is in the same situation as Andromeda, chained naked to a rock on the sea as a sacrifice to a sea monster, and is saved at the last minute by a knight called Ruggiero. So do you see what I'm saying? The way this lets us connect the princess of the Andromeda Empire to Angelica, and therefore connect Angelica to the eyes on the palms? I'm not sure how this connection presents itself in the original Chinese or other localizations. However, they do sometimes choose rather specific localizations for certain things to convey lore connections like this. It's all very interesting when it comes to my original theory for Thelindis, where I speculated that her and Angelica were the same person or came from the same entity. They did release that boss drip marketing for Revere, stating that his story is not over yet. Between that and how we still don't really know what happened to Thelindis beyond the Moongate, I have been wondering if there is still room for a connection between Thelindis and Angelica, especially since Paraneri is a book that ties into Crimson Moon lore, and Thelindis is a Crimson Moon descendant. Follow or subscribe for more qualitative disclosure on the Hoyoverse.